I've got another geometric progression, and I'm now looking for I'm going to introduce another formula, which is the sum to infinity, and I've also got the sum of a geometric progression but using this rearrangement, which is on the formula sheet, and this will explain how this comes about. First of all, why is it a geometric progression? Because if I take 15, you times it by something, you get 10. So we can do 10 divided by 15, and we get that, which is 2/3. We could take 6 2/3 and divide it by 10, so 6.6666667, divide that by 10, and you can see we're getting the same 2/3. So what am I multiplying by each time? I'm multiplying by r equals 2/3. That's the common ratio. I can see my u1 is 15. Now let's imagine I want to find the sum to infinity. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not really going to work out the sum to infinity to begin with. I'm going to actually work out the sum of the first 100 numbers, and I'm going to use this formula here. So I'm going to say u1, 15, times 1 minus 2/3, and 2/3 is to the power of 100. I need to put a bracket around there so I'm doing the whole 2/3. Now I'm going to divide it by r, or 1 minus r, using this formula. 1 minus 2/3. So I'm going to do this bit first. 2 divided by 3, and I want to put that to the power of 100. Now the answer that comes up is 2.45. It's not 2.45, it's 2.45. This thing here means times 10 to the power of negative 18. Effectively makes this an extremely small number, or almost 0. So we can discount that, if you like, from our calculation. So I'm left with 1. So I'm almost saying I don't want this bit in the bracket here if r is less than 1, bigger than minus 1. So that's like a condition to do the sum to infinity. So I can jump straight into here if r is less than 1, or between minus 1 and 1. So let's go back and say, well, actually the sum to infinity is simply u1, 15, 1 minus 2/3. Now one thing that I will warn you about here is we're going to have 15 divided by 1 minus 2/3 is 1/3. I do find a lot of students that think that 15 divided by 1/3 is 5. It's not. It's 15 times, instead of divide, times, and I flip this over to make it 3/1, so it becomes 45. And that is a mistake I do see an awful lot. So don't do 15 divided by 3, make sure it's 15 times 3 or divided by 1/3.